What do you do when you don't know what to do? Uncertainty, that's what I'm here to talk about. Uncertainty today is because of acceleration. Acceleration of complexity, acceleration of change. In the US, in the last 50 years, there's been an acceleration in the number of patents, from 100,000 to 600,000 new patents every year. Globally, the startups have increased tenfold, from 10 million to 100 million new startups annually. That's an acceleration of technology, of competition in the market. And that's accelerating our perspectives, the amount of choice, the information that's out there. And if you unpack information further, we have the processing speed to collect and analyze data at unprecedented rates. That's causing anxiety, right? I mean, we have to collect all this reoriented information to make some decisions with certainty. You see, our need for certainty is making us more uncertain. And then we read all this literature, publications, research that tells us what we need for an uncertain future. What are the skills we need? What do our organizations need? What do our leaders need to take on these challenges? If it's Deloitte's Future of Work, Harvard Business Review, CEO Global Studies from IBM, PwC, what do they tell us? They all tell us we need about 4 things in our organizations for ourselves, these skills. We need to be more creative. We need more agility in our organizations. We need diversity, collaboration. What happens when you increase creativity? When agility goes up? When there's more diversity? When we collaborate better? You're further accelerating the perspectives, the choice, the amount of information. And certainty fades away. What do we do? And then we get nervous, anxious again. We need to collect these skills. Anybody here take that creativity class in college? What about the collaboration one? They don't exist. So what do we do? What do we do when we don't know what to do? What are some of our instincts, our impulses in these moments? Well, some of us, we hesitate, deer in the headlight. You wait. And waiting's not so bad. Sometimes that could be a great thing. But if you wait too long and you don't make a decision, sometimes it's better to make the wrong decision than a lack of direction. We blame. Uncertainty is increasing, and so is blame in our organizations, in businesses, in politics. It's happening right now. Or a whole slew of other behaviors, instincts, impulses, the moment we don't know what to do, especially turning conservative. You know, we do this in small ways at home. You know, you have guests over for dinner, maybe it's your boss. Risk goes up. Anxiety goes up. Is this the time to try that new recipe? You're not going to do that. Scale that, multiply it by the amount of uncertainty we have internationally. We're noticing this. We're all turning conservative, in politics especially. All these impulses, these instincts, these behaviors, they have a commonality. It's a direction. It's a way. We all run away from what we don't know. We run away from uncertainty. And when we think about the challenges we have ahead of us in the future, these big problems that we're going to solve, we need to learn to reverse it, to step into what we don't know. And there's a group of people who are proficient at it. They thrive in the uncertain. They have processes, tools, skills, even while they're in it, to navigate through uncertainty. They're artists. I help leaders lead through uncertainty, leverage uncertainty to benefit their organizations. You might say we bring out the artist in the leaders we work with. We design experiences in the arts that immerse leaders in change, in complexity, in uncertainty, so that they can find new ways to learn to see, to listen, and really to do when they don't know what to do. As we're getting this way, we're building muscles for uncertainty. You know, if you want to make someone creative, make them more uncertain. If you're certain, there's no need to change. But the moment you're faced with uncertainty, you've got an opportunity there, an opportunity to make a creative choice, a creative decision. Let's look at some artists. What do they do? What do they do when they don't know what to do? What are their impulses? What are their instincts? Bebop. An era of jazz, 1940s, defined by speed and by change. The greatest musicians would get on a train and perform in different cities. And your job was to keep up. Could you keep up with the speed? Could you keep up with the change? If you couldn't, you weren't going to get on that train and perform in the next town. They'd find someone else in that next city and see if they could do it. Well, in 1959, Miles Davis gets the greatest of these musicians in New York City and puts them in a recording studio. Jeff Barrett tells this story really well. Miles puts out sheet music in front of them, right? Familiar tunes. They all knew what they were going to do. But he had just changed all the modes of that tune. Different strange forms that hadn't been played before. Looks at them, starts to count. 1, 2, 3. Turns to his recording engineer, hit it. 4. They record. And that first take is the album we now know as Kind of Blue. The greatest selling album in jazz. What are we listening to? What do we get so excited about? We're listening to people who know what to do when they don't know what to do. They thrive in the uncertain. They're making decisions with speed and with conviction. And they set up collaboration to do that, right? I mean, what are the tools they have? First, you better be an expert. We rely on you. And then we can trust each other. And once we're trusting each other, we literally play together. And all that so you can proactively adapt to the change. Miles knew this. He threw uncertainty at them because he knew they would perform at their best, that they had the tools for it. According to the CEO Genome Project, the #1 behavior of the most successful CEOs is making decisions with speed and with conviction. And it's not just our leaders. All of us need this. You know ASUS, the online retailer from the UK? In 2016, Forbes ranks them as #3 most innovative growth companies. They know we all need this. In fact, the first day on the job, you meet with the executive team, and they share with you what they don't know, where they're afraid, where their mistakes are, where they're uncertain. And your job isn't to do a good job at what you do, and they'll worry about the uncertainty. No, you jump into it with them. You practice uncertainty from day one with the team. And like those musicians, you're innovating the success of that tune as it's going. You're not an ASUS employee. You're an ASUS entrepreneur. Let's look at another artist. A painter, John Constable, from the 1800s, known for his landscape paintings. But when he was a kid, he wasn't going to be a painter. His job was to take over the family farm, their mill. What do you do when that's your job? As a kid, you go out to the field and watch the weather change, and then you run home and you tell your family what you have to do to change on the farm in order to keep in business. As a child, he was an expert at change, an expert at the uncertain. So how does he use it when he starts to paint later in his life? Let's take a closer look at that painting. You zoom in on the top right of that piece. You'll see a beautiful, it's like a white cloud on top of a blue sky. That makes sense, right? On the right-hand side over there. But on the left side, above that bird, you see the opposite happening. You have this cloud, but he puts the sky back on top of the cloud. That's less intuitive. And when you zoom out to see that whole painting, it's happening everywhere. White on blue, blue on white, clouds on the sky. What's going on? It's changing. And it's not that he's an expert at painting and that he's an expert at weather. But what he's really an expert at with it is he's practicing knowing what to do when things are changing. You see, what he's got is the need to practice uncertainty. In fact, I imagine that's why he painted those cloud studies. Instead of just painting these beautiful landscapes, he was practicing being as proficient in the uncertain as he was when he was certain. You know, in 2014, Microsoft acquired Nokia. And Nokia's CEO got up in front of the press and said, you know, we did everything right, and we still lost. Sometimes you can be an expert. You meet all the marks. You're getting everything right. But if you're not aware of the change that's happening around you, you're not able to adjust to it, you can still get it wrong. So what do we learn from these artists? What are their instincts? What are they doing? Well, first, they're practicing uncertainty. Because practice makes permanent, not perfect, if you're practicing the wrong things. What are they practicing? They're practicing a shift in confidence. Most of us walk into a room confident. We're confident because of the things we've done. Or perhaps you walk into a room confident because of what you're about to do. But these artists, they're confident in something beyond their expertise. They're confident in the uncertain. They're confident in knowing what to do when things are changing, in consistently and reliably reevaluating a circumstance and making decisions in there. Now, when you walk into a room confident with that, you're looking for something else, not just the successful results, but you're looking for clarity in the change, always looking for clarity. And that opens up a few things for you, right? First, you're aware of the change. You're able to make more experiments in it. And you have an opportunity to make new sense of things. See, uncertainty is growing. We're living in it. And what I'm excited about is the era of creativity that's accelerating with it. It's happening right now. And we have these tools from the artists. You know, the painters, they're not just great at this. What painters are great at doing is this. Musicians, they're not just great at this or this. What they're great at doing is this. It's those tools and observation, that shift in confidence, that they can find clarity in the moment. If we couple that with the creative tools we already have, I mean, we have design thinking, agile systems, lean startups, jobs to be done. These processes help us bring new ideas to a market that's changing when we don't know what to do. And now we also have these tools that we can take from the artists, these impulses, these instincts for knowing what to do when we don't know what to do. Stepping in with a change in confidence, stepping into the uncertain. Imagine walking into some complex matrix in front of you where everything's changing, some big challenge, and you've got to make decisions. And you walk in with the confidence of John Constable, watching it happen with your expertise and making, right? Making, and making as a way of thinking. Thank you.